Yo, what up? Equal pay, equal pay, equal pay. Seems like every single year you get a month of us just chatting about this, and it's a completely nonsensical point. It's been thoroughly debunked multiple times. It's not that difficult to do. However, people keep talking about it. More so right now, it gets brought up because of the women's national team and their efforts in terms of them winning out the World Cup. Have Megan Rapinoe, her comments. And they like to compare and contrast to the men's national team, who on the international stage, the U.S. men's national team, they don't do as well. So it's odd that, again, Marx's sort of labor theory of value is still, though as nonsensical as is Austrians, Chicago economists, Joe Blows can easily just say this is fucking stupid and this is why. The fact that we're still talking about this is amazing, but here we are. Now, ironically enough, she does have an interview, Megan Rapinoe, that is, recently that it was with Rachel Maddow, and they have the same haircut, and that's completely irrelevant to the point that I'm about to make. So disregard that, please. Nonetheless, she asked her what people can do to help with equal pay, and Megan's and some of her answer is actually legitimate. And she's talking about, hey, you go watch more women's national, like watch more women's leagues and on TV and do whatever. And really, that's what it ultimately boils down to. The unfortunate thing, she doesn't extend that to the logical conclusion. And these motherfuckers are trying to work backwards. Like you got people, politicians saying, hey, U.S. shouldn't play in the national until there's equal pay. They shouldn't play in the next World Cup. And it just goes to show that these motherfuckers are so economically illiterate. Because look, man, and it's very simple. It's very simple why equal pay is complete nonsense. Usually, when they talk about equal pay, they say, "Hey, man, women work so and so, or they get paid, let's say 70% or 70 cents to the dollar of the men." Right? It's a completely nonsensical stat to look at because it doesn't take into consideration the actual professions that these people tend to participate in and how much money they make, which ends up why men make this amount of money. But nonetheless, it doesn't take a fucking economist to understand why, let's say, in comparison to the men's national team and men national teams, like let's say, in terms of the money they make, right? And the players, be it doesn't matter what the stage is, doesn't matter if it's international soccer or club soccer, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. They're gonna generally make more, and it's very, very easy, right? We just had this conversation with WNBA. I'm gonna try to be, without being a sounding like an asshole. Not that many people care to watch women's soccer, women's sports, really in general. Um, and I'm not saying that there aren't people that care, because absolutely there are. Y'all know I'm a big track guy. For example, I love to watch men's and women's track and field. Big follower of that, collegiate and professional. I love it. But in terms of women's sports, and I'm a big basketball guy, I don't watch the WNBA. I'm a huge soccer guy. Y'all know that's my favorite sport behind track and field, right? You know what I mean? But I don't watch that, women's soccer. I don't. I don't care to watch it. The only really, now that I think about it, track and field is really the only women's sport that I'll follow. I mean, it's intriguing to watch. I would say it's more intriguing to watch, and I think I can speak for most individuals, is that they'll start paying attention towards World Cup time to these female athletes. But that's the only time. And even then, in comparison to, let's say, the like men's international play, be it in World Cup, be it in, it doesn't really matter what it is, that gets way more viewership. Therefore, it's bringing in way more money. That's why they don't get paid anything near to what the male athletes get paid. Now, when I break it down like that, it kind of sounds like, oh shit, this is fucking stupid that we're having this conversation. They don't bring in as much money as the men. What they bitching about? I wish I had the answer. I wish I did. I wish I did, but I don't. I don't have the answer, Sway. I don't have them. It's right there for you. It's easy. You can see it like, hey, most people don't watch women's soccer leagues. Oh, women's soccer, they just don't. Some people do, but most don't. And certainly most that do, they tend to follow the men's over the women. That's easy. That's not, again, you don't have to be an economist. You don't even have to know a lot about the sport to understand that. You don't. So obviously the pay is going to be reflective of that. It doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter. And I think that's what, the women's league, they win all of these games. They win all these World Cups. The men's soccer team don't do shit. You're not paid for because you can win. Who cares? That's not what you're paid for. Not directly in that sense. It's the value in the position that you're filling and how much the market has determined that shit is of value, right? How valuable it necessarily is. This is why I play basketball 3 times a week. I mean, and these are legitimate games. I've been playing for 2 hours at sometimes. I don't get paid as much as NBA players. Nobody's watching my fucking rec league games. That's why. Even though I may be, in theory, working out as much as they are. So just because the men's national team or the men's, let's say, soccer athletes, football athletes, just because they aren't, let's say ending in terms of their season or, again, international season, and talking about World Cup or whatever, they might not be ending like as winners like the women's national team is, but in the same respects, they're still going to have more viewership. Even in losses, they're going to have more viewership. MLS is going to be paid more attention to than any. I don't even know. Is there any? I don't even know. Is there, as much as I follow soccer, is there a female professional soccer league in America? I have no idea. I couldn't answer that. Like, my favorite international team is AC Milan. I know those teams all have like female counterparts. I have no idea with MLS. But nonetheless, because I don't know, it can't be doing that good. You know what I mean? And certainly in comparison to the other shit. So that's why they don't get paid as much. They're not supposed to. Doesn't matter because you work as hard or, you do the same sport as the men athletes and you may finish better amongst your female competition than they do amongst their male competition. Doesn't matter. You're not bringing in as much money. People don't find that as valuable. You're not bringing in that viewership. Therefore, there's no advertising money. This is easy. Why are we arguing this? Why do we do this shit every once a year? I remember just last year, WNBA stars. Oh man, we look at all these millions of dollars that we get and we don't get shit. Nobody watches the WNBA. Nobody. I mean, just in comparison to the NBA. They don't. So Megan Rapinoe is right in that sense that if you wanted them to make more, then you'd have to watch it. You'd have to participate in it more than what you would, or, just in comparison, certainly to the other sports, maybe in the male counterparts. And then they'll make more money once people find it of value. So she's right in that sense, right? I think you're kidding yourself if you think that's ever going to happen, but it's your right to try. And then the market will say, all right, these value, people watching this more, we can put in more advertisement money in it because people care about it. And then they'll make more money. People will go to their games more. They'll make more money. But as it stands right now, it's just complete buffoonery to sit here and try to compare female athletes to the male athletes and say they're making significantly more than them, even though the women's athletes are doing better amongst their competition. Doesn't fucking matter. That's not how economics work. It's not how markets work, bro. Get off the Marxist shit. That's not how it works. Equal pay. And again, this concept has been debunked thoroughly, time and time again, but it keeps being brought up. And unfortunately, you have politicians and shit wanting to accelerate this nonsense, and it is complete nonsense. This is why I say that you guys have idiots ruling over you, because you have actual legitimate congressmen and women. Yeah, equal pay. That they get to rule over you. They get to rule over you. These people have gone to college, they got all these degrees, and they're that fucking stupid that they can't break down just fundamental economics for the common man to understand. It doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist. Again, I can give you not a rocket scientist, more so an economist, to understand this. The example that I gave you, I play a lot of basketball, bro. I play a lot of basketball. I work out a lot. I don't make anywhere near, let's say, somebody that will maybe play the same position as me, Steph Curry. Why? Because Steph Curry is followed. He's watched. People care about him. Nobody gives a shit about me taking it to the cup on somebody at the rec league. Nobody gives a shit about that. I'm doing that shit for the burnout. He's doing it, probably maybe for the burnout. But also, he's getting a lot of money. Because people want to see Steph Curry. He's playing in the most competitive league, the most watched basketball league in the world. Therefore, people can advertise. People can pay money for admission to go watch him live. That's why he makes significantly more money than me. Doesn't matter because I'm dogging the rec league competition. It doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? Because that's not only why you're paid. The value in that position, that he's filling as a star NBA point guard is far more valuable than my position as a point guard at the fucking rec league. Simple. Y'all got to stop with this equal pay bullshit. Please. Get a grip.